So when the earthquake hit Nepal in early 2015, we saw that our newspapers were filled or flooded with images of destruction. And this little landlocked country that's known as the home of the magnificent Himalayas, it replaced these images with images of sadness and destruction. And I knew already then that I wanted to help. Just do something, anything. And I got the opportunity a year later in 2016, March 2016, through the organization effect.org. Can you change the world in 7 days? This is the challenge that Effect gives you. And the mission of Effect is to connect employees of technology companies like Google, Salesforce, Facebook, with some of the real burning issues of the world. What if you could use your skills to solve some of these problems? So I was very fortunate to be selected on this delegation. And what better way to understand these problems than to spend time in the country with the organizations, working hands-on with them, to see for yourself, to hear for yourself, and to really understand those problems. So as I was packing my bag, I thought, it's been a year, right? So things should be fine. Not normal, but at least fine. Boy, was I wrong. Because the scale of the problem is so large, it's simply overwhelming. And I don't know what's worse, losing your home in a flash, or living in indefinite temporary accommodation. We worked with 3 different organizations. The first was Raksha Nepal, an orphanage in Kathmandu. The second was a charity that's involved in rebuilding schools. And the third is a voluntary organization called All Hands that was tasked with rebuilding about 100 schools in some of the remotest parts of Nepal. Now again, can you change the world in 7 days? That question kept playing in my mind. I thought, would I have an impact? Would we make a difference? And the answer came to me on day 3, when we went to a village in the foothills of the Himalayas. It's said that Kagati, the village that you see in this picture, was a picturesque little village with its people engaged in farming. The earthquake took not only their homes, I think 90% of their homes, but also simple things such as their savings, bags of rice, flattened rice, and food that they'd saved for their family for an entire year ahead just disappeared in a flash. So that day, I was tasked with roofing Til Maya's new home. Her 85-year-old home was completely destroyed by the earthquake, and she has a very, very special message. She says, even though our life is much more difficult than it was before the earthquake, we are grateful to be alive. And we spend less time on things that don't matter, little issues. We don't spend time on those things anymore. So there are many things, there are many experiences that give you goosebumps, that make the hair on the back of your neck stand up in a positive way. And this was one of them. To know that I could help someone whose home had been unfairly taken away by nature, that very little small act felt incredibly special to me. So from this entire experience, I've learned 3 things. The first is to give my time and money more thoughtfully. Very often, we tend to give right immediately after disaster strikes. And that's important because the money you give then goes towards securing water, good water, healthy water, food, and shelter. And that's important. However, the slow and long process of rebuilding only happens much, much later. And by then, the media attention is gone, the focus is gone, the spotlight is gone, and the funds also start running low. So I've learned to give money thoughtfully. I've learned to give my time more thoughtfully as well. We tend to judge the needs of others based on our definitions of happiness and comfort. So giving people money for toilets to build toilets, or giving people toilets, is pointless when they don't have enough food to eat. So I've learned to also give my time thoughtfully. And finally, our motto for this expedition was travel for good. And I've realized how easy it is to incorporate that into my life. It is indeed possible to travel for good and to do good. So going back to the first question, can you change the world in 7 days? I think it is possible to change somebody's world in 7 days, because there's so much to do and every little bit helps. So I'd like to finish this with a small video, and I hope this gives you a good impression of my experience. And yes, well, enjoy.
I feel a fire. Is it war if you fight it? Is it love when you don't?